Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Discovering Our Journey. I am your host, JC. MC is gone today. He is celebrating something very, very special. So we had it planned for him to leave this day, but we are here together today, and we are going to be touching on a very difficult subject, which is don't give up when it's hard. I don't know about you guys, but when it gets hard, it is so hard to say, hey, just don't give up. Right? So, just this weekend, I don't know about you guys, but I have been trying to develop a new hobby when it comes down to breads. I think I've made a comment of that before. And so I tried my hand at bread again. The bread came out good, right? But the bread itself, I spent like 5 hours to like knead it, let it rise and everything, let the yeast do its thing. But then when I went to go put in the oven, guess what? It just fell flat. So it was kind of like, oh, that it didn't get that white, that nice bread fluff. But here, let me show it to you too. So this, it's a little bit eaten, but there you go. My bread. It tastes good, but it's not as fluffy as I'd like it. And so yeah, it was hard not to give up on that. But I worked through it. I'm going to try it again. I'm not going to give up. But we do need to focus on that, on giving up. A lot of things have been made because of people overcoming the desire to give up. It's beneficial and it's biblical too when we don't give up. And so some benefits that we do get is emotional resilience. So through working through the rational hardships in our marriage or in our friendships, it builds our emotional maturity and it gives us patience. It really does. And empathy. A lot of that is grown, right? I don't know about you guys, but in a big family, it does become hard to have that emotional intelligence to be empathetic and patient, right? So it also improves our mental health. Reconnecting with faith and hobbies gives us a purpose and a sense of meaning. It reduces anxiety and depression. We've talked about that many, many times here on the show. We should gather together, and overcome that because it's something that I mean, even I um have struggled with, right? And so it improves mental health. Physical health benefits, there are many. It creates a purposeful meaning, right? In this show, we talk about finding our purpose, which is a huge thing. And you can find that through the relationships, the spiritual practices, or even pursuing the goals. This can improve your sleeping patterns, your immune system as well. We talked about how your immune system does get affected with emotions, right? So that's very big. Some things that we can also reflect on, I believe, are some questions that can help us guide us to reflecting on like a leadership kind of purpose is we can ask ourselves, what's the pain I keep running from? Right? Because a lot of time it's painful. It's painful what we're going through. And so what purpose might be hiding in it? That's huge. A lot of times we find, especially when we go through very hard, difficult things, throwing myself there out there a little bit, when you do go through something life changing and very crushing, especially when, I lost my first marriage. That was very difficult for me. But the beauty in it is that I was able to take accountability for a lot of the things that I had done, that I had contributed to the pains and the hurts as well. And it pushed me away from the feeling like the one that was wronged, because I also contributed to the wrong. And God is so good. God is so good. He really delivered me from that. And He made me realize with a lot of clarity and a lot of love that, it wasn't just one sided. There was two sides to that. And so that it was difficult. So some biblical points here that we want to look at here is in the Bible, it does say that in your patience, It says in the King James version, because that's the version I like there. In your patience possesses ye your souls. You know, that's in Luke 21:19. So patience is a possession of the soul. Purpose is found when you stay in the process long enough to recognize what God is doing in you, and not just in you, but around you. I am starting to recognize a lot of things that are happening right now. Like I said before, I'm struggling with my teens, right? With my children. And it has caused a little bit of peaks and valleys, right, with my husband and I. But I've noticed that the more I leave myself open to him, um, I've started to get a little bit more of a love for him. And I stopped victimizing myself, so to speak. And I kind of, there always has to be that one person that's like, hey, okay, it's not to say I'm bigger than he is, so I'm gonna go ahead, but I do feel like I want to stop the fire. So I'm gonna stomp it out here. I'm not gonna contribute by saying little things that might push him over the edge, or I'm not gonna push more than I have to break a situation. And so I've checked myself there, and I think it's helped me a little bit. And let me know if it's helped you, either in your marriage, in your relationship with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, with your family member, especially when you have a lot of siblings. A lot of things can be said, a lot of things can be miscommunicated. So it's a big thing to be that person that like puts out the fire, right? And sometimes I've heard with some of us that have a little bit of patience that we get tired, and I think putting a nice boundary in there, just for a little while is healthy. um Now I emphasize on just for a little while because I do believe too much time can be a little bit of a off balance thing, right? There's always a balance to everything that we do, so just keeping that in mind. Another thing that is a good reflection that I was thinking about was, to ask what part of me is being developed in this season of the time of what's happening, right? Because nothing is ever the same. Every season changes and it can be dramatic, right? So, um again, my teen years, this is so new to me, so everything is different, right? Right now I think we've come to a point where it's a balance. I think my son and I both have surrendered, and so it's been good. Oh, there was a little bit of a noise there. I'm not sure if it affected anything. Okay. So I think we both threw the white flag out, and we're both trying to patch things up, which is, it's really good. It's a big blessing. It's learning for him and learning for me. So now we have to find a way to rebuild. So it's a beautiful new season for us. It's amazing. But let me know if you have any children. How are you overcoming a lot of these things? And are you fighting, right, head to head? Is it like the authoritarian and you're like, no, I'm not letting down because I am the parent, I'm not their friend. And if you've overcome that, right? Or if you haven't done that at all, let me know. I mean, I really would like to know how we as a community are overcoming these trials that we're going through. Um, Another thing that helped me reflect on um, overcoming the desire to want to give up and kind of keeping my leadership role in focus here is asking myself, am I building a life others can follow, right? As always, we always say, practice what you preach. So, that's something that's come back to me, that I'm just like, hey, I've got to be very intentional with what I do, right? And just be very careful with what I say because all eyes are on me. Not with one and two, but like everyone in the family. So, um, it does become a little bit hard, but we're getting it. We're getting it. Like I said, it's been a blessing working with my amazing husband. We're going back to back with what's happening, and we're taking on the world. It's been a good thing. It's been a good thing. But let's go ahead and look at some of the things. I did look up here some things that we tend to give up on. Some things can be marriages, right? Often abandoned due to some unresolved conflicts, right? That can be with friendships, that can be with family again. With friendships, though, we tend to give up on them when we let go because of betrayal, distance, misunderstanding, the lack of effort. It's hard. We give up on personal hobbies, right? The cake that I made, or excuse me, the bread that I made, it's a little devastating. It was a lot of work, and so to do it again, practice makes perfect, but I mean, it's kind of deflating. So, but I'm gonna try it again. I will. But personal hobbies, a lot of times we give up on them because of the busyness or lack of progress, right? Or we feel discouraged. So that's huge. But yeah, share with me if there's any hobbies you have done that hasn't come out as you've wanted, but you've maybe put them away in the closet and you're like, I'll get to it, and it just doesn't happen. It's not easy. The other things that we can tend to give up on are goals and dreams. That's a big one, forgotten because of failure, fear, or lack of support. School and education. School and education is a big one. Oh, and I'm so sorry. Hi, Haku Cat. I am so sorry. So many things have been happening right before we got on, so I didn't even get to say hi to you. As always, I'm glad. Yes, I know you felt those. Definitely share with how you have overcome them, because that's the most important, right? Is knowing how we've overcome things. You become overwhelmed and you just want to quit. Definitely. Yeah, so how you keep going, that's the very interesting thing. You want to have that desire, right? Knowing what is kind of hindering you, I think has helped me personally. So as I said with a lot of hobbies especially, we tend to drop them because of the disappointment and it's discouraging. So we put them in the closet and we're like, I'll just do it some other time, and then the other time just gets swallowed by other things and other priorities, right? So that's really important. The goals and dreams, though, are usually forgotten because of failure, fear, and lack of support. That's a big one that we should probably put our finger on, because learning something new is never easy. But we should definitely get our people who we know are motivators to help us to keep going. You know, man, having that support team is just such a big deal. And if you don't have that within your home and your family, make a community. Go to the after school programs, go to church, go to your community rec centers, whatever your goal is, whatever your desire is, especially in this world with digital, right? We can always find things online. And so there's groups out there that can definitely connect you with things, and so it's awesome. One thing that I'm really happy about and excited is that next week we're going to start to implement having people come and give more of their testimonies, right? About where they're at in their journey. So it's going to be so much more fun. It's a lot more challenging for me. but but this has always been a dream of mine to just not give up on, and I want to give people a voice. Here we're going to be able to talk about shared experiences, how they got to where they're at. Did they, how they didn't give up, right? Because some of us who desired to be in real estate, who decided my goal is to be in a culinary artist, they had to keep pushing, right? They had to finish some schooling, they had to finish some hours. Some people have made it into careers that they never thought or dreamt that they would get. So we're going to talk to more amazing people that are local to our community. It's going to be very, very exciting. So let's not give up on that. All right, so another thing that we do tend to give up on is huge, is gonna be the faith and religion. I know that personally, I abandoned that when I was in my youth because of disappointment, because of, doubt, a lot of religious trauma that was brought to me. But it's beautiful because God says in His Word that if you grow up your child in His Word, in His name, that He won't abandon us. And I do believe that a lot of my walk was always carefully watched for. God always brought me the right people, always opened the right doors for me. I tried to have the best values, and morals, um, that I could. And there's certain things that I just couldn't cross, but it brought me here. So thank God that God is just so good. You know, we forget that Christ, he came into the world and he showed us how to live. He showed us how to be patient and loving and kind, and then he died for it. Um, he gave us so much. And so he said, "Do as I do." I'm going to leave you with the Holy Spirit. And the more you look, right? We need to go through our word to really reveal what our gifts are, what is our purpose, and really hone in on that. But I'm telling you guys, if God is for you, nothing can be against you. It's a promise. It's a promise that is in there, and trust me, I hold to it true. And I think that's what makes me walk fearless in it. So, yeah. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Some questions here, like that we said that we can reflect on, is always consider why you're giving up, right? Is it fear? Is it failure? Is it fatigue? Is it faithlessness? Once you identify it, let's do something about it. Let's move. Let's move towards it, right? Just in church last Sunday, they were talking about moving. You can't just stand there. You got to actually make the steps, right? So you see it, move towards it. Okay? It's just that it's easier said than done. That's for sure. But with practice, 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 we can do it. We can do it. And I'm hoping that when you do it, you're going to come in the chat and you're going to come on the show and you're going to tell me how you did it, because we want to share the success with everybody. I'm telling you, it all takes just the change of our mind, right? If we do not change our mind, we can abuse. We can abuse our purpose. And that's just the worst thing that we can do. Yes, Haku, the cat, yes. How do you keep going? You keep on trying. Okay? Remember, we've talked about um also making sure it is in the plan, right? God talks a lot in his word about the plans of man are many, right? But he is the one that's going to give you the right passage when it's the right way. So, Haku, just like we talked about the glove, right? You want to go ahead and allow God to be the glove in your life and let him guide you. But he cannot be the glove if you do not read the word, right? We got to read the word to know. The Holy Spirit doesn't teach you things that you just don't know. That's not how it works. He kind of pushes his finger on what you do know. So it's really, really important that we sacrifice some of the things that we like. And so that is definitely, Haku, how I got it is I gave up a lot of TV, and it actually was liberating. Giving up the TV, I was just like, you know what? I kind of got bored. I was like, okay, well, I'm not committing myself to any more shows. The last one I think I saw was, let's see, like Breaking Bad. I got so into that show. It was crazy. It was like, wow, suspense. But once I let go of the shows, I started getting bored, and I started to really think, okay, well, what can I fill my time with? Well, reading. Reading is a little boring, right? But as I kept practicing and practicing on it, it almost started to get like addicting. It got addicting, and I had the desire to want to do it and share it and really own it. And so I really strongly urge you to practice it. Practice it, you're going to get it. It's going to make you more and more wanting to desire to commit to it. And so another thing that helped me to reflect on it is asking, have I communicated my struggles clearly to those affected before making this decision? Right? That one was big, especially when partnering up with my husband, about communicating my struggles clearly. Technology is something that I'm still working through, right? it wasn't it wasn't something that came easy to me, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning, and I notice that the more negative things that I say to myself about it, the more I don't learn. But the more I communicate, the more I'm able to be like, "Hey, I'm kind of stuck here," and then I'm able to overcome it. So, slow and steady with that one, especially for me. And then asking, am I running from discomfort or moving towards a healthier direction? Haku, that's a huge one. You want to ask yourself these questions because it's big, right? It all starts here. And so changing your mindset is huge. You want to be a little bit discomforted, right? Get uncomfortable to create healthy routes, but just keep it healthy and keep it focused. And I'm telling you, with God, anything is possible. And then what I um what I believe is also a big help is having a vision. I'm a strong believer of journaling, right? Document everything. Any idea that you have, any desire that you have, write it down. Write it down and see to and ask yourself, like, what do I want to do with this? Where do I want to go with this? Is it healthy? Is it helping others? Um, because remember, we're here as a community to build each other up. We're here to be helpers. Yes, it all starts with us first, but we need to remember that love is selfless. So it is more about giving. And a lot of us, we have a big problem with giving. we go, hey, but how about me? I need to take care of number one. Yeah, number one's going to be taken care of, definitely, but we also want to give love. Okay. That's the way Christ showed us. So let's see here. A couple biblical truths here that we're going to find is in Galatians 6:9. It says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Okay, again, I do like the King James version, so I love the poetry kind of deal. But if you have the NIV, it will give you, a little bit better of a understanding on that one. But for preserving on your relationship, in Proverbs 17:17 it says, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So, I mean, all these are just so encouraging, right? True relationship endures through trials. Man, that's huge. That's huge, especially for me right now. I've been going through a lot of trials, but the more I focus and the more I keep my eyes on the target, the more I feel free. And the more it's carving my character, I feel like I really have nothing to be prideful about as much. I've been kicked around enough, but it's actually a beautiful feeling because now I see how hot-headed my kids can be and how quick they can react. And now I'm just like, well, I know I'm still hot-headed about certain things, but you know what? I have the emotional intelligence now to share this with them, and hopefully they get a lot faster than I did. Because that is another thing. Remember, this is important to share with our family because you want to give off the information to your loved ones faster than you received it, right? Because that's a good way to bless them, you know? Yeah, some kids don't want to hear it at the time, but they are listening. They are listening. And like we said before, they're watching you. And so make sure that what you're saying matches what you're doing, because I can only imagine a lot of us when we were young, we were hurt by that, right? Our parents would say one thing and do another. And so we don't want to keep that ball going. We want to show them with love, um, and honor and respect. And yeah, just keep them focused. But I'm so excited for everything that's going to be coming up really soon. We're going to go ahead and move this along. We're going to get people to come on and share and talk about where they're at in their journey. So until next time, thank you guys so much for staying tuned with me. MC will be here next week. Remember, there's no growth without pain.